First things first. God, the this. Don't get mad with us. Hey, look, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the one man and the only man that's going to check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. That's Heartbreak Prince himself.
Hey,
Look,
what's going on? What's going on? Nighttime, back again.
that's it, boy. Look, y'all know how this goes on nighttime, man. And this is a little bit different. This we are legitimately focused on AEW tonight. And honestly, we got to talk about a lot of things. So let's go ahead and kick it off talking about that AEW Dynamite, baby. Look, y'all know how we feel about nighttime. Nighttime is just it's our time. Right. We take nighttime a little bit differently. Sometimes we might get into some shenanigans. We might talk about something crazy. But we gotta talk about a couple things that happen, oh man. Because look, the one of my favorite things, okay, and we gotta talk about it. My man, MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. Come on, bro. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say something that we're seeing right now is greatness. Okay, Mystico had a match, finished the match. Now, who comes out? The Hurt Syndicate, MJF. Okay, they come out. MJF is out there talking. He's telling, first of all, MVP. Okay, give us just the great introduction to just start off MJF, kind of warming up the platform. MJF comes up, he tells Mystico, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, next week in Mexico, I'm going to be bringing back the Patriot. I'm dusting off my jacket. I'm doing everything I got to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip that mask off your face. But what's going to be coming back, and man, I can't wait to see it, is the Patriot of the American man, the, the man that loves America. And man, he told Mystical honestly, he said he remembers growing up and seeing him. And he said he ain't nothing to him. He said, you think you're a big shot? He said, you think you're worth so much? He said, you're nothing. You're still just a sloppy sin horror. I said, oh my God.
Preposterous. Preposterous.
Come on, bro. This is insane. Literally tries to sneak Sin Cara. And the best thing about it, the Hurt Syndicate beat the hell out of him. I mean, it was crazy.
We
Love
heard
the
people.
most. We heard people. What I love the most about MJF, man, honestly, the mic work. I don't know how many times I got to tell this. He even said himself, people know I'm the total wrestling package. The total wrestling package. I don't know what that means. This man can do it all. The ring, the mic, and the madness. What's the madness? That's pretty much everything together in one. One whole conglomerate. Because everything that this man, MJF, is doing, again, and I've said this before, is pure gold. Okay, this man, first of all, okay, we've talked about this before. To see this man, MJF, and I'm glad they're bringing this back. Tony, you must have been listening low key, okay? Because I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again, man. I want to see that American champion again back on MJF. I want to see my man, MJF, come with the red, white, and blue, with the jacket, with the whole. Now, I want to see this. I want to see this come back, and I'm so glad he's bringing this back. I'm so glad he even said bringing back the Patriot. I said, MJF, you got it, bro. I can't wait to see this, man. And honestly, again, what I'd love to see what MJF had, the gear that he had on. Now, some people didn't like it. Some people was like, why is this gear like MVPs? Well, these MVPs like protege. I don't know why people are trying to break this out like this is something else. Like, y'all just want to say dumb stuff. Loved it. I thought the gear was tough. It said MJF with the Burberry around it. fire, fire. And honestly, I love what they're doing. I can't be mad about this. I almost brought a tear to my eye, but couldn't do it. Not yet. I don't think tears gonna come from my eyes until I see this man with the American champion again. His Patriot, too. Gotta see it, and I gotta love it. Pause. Heartbreak Prince. What are your thoughts, man? What you think?
This is good. This is good stuff. I mean, it's MJF, and we talk about it all the time, how much we just appreciate and enjoy MJF. He's always up to something diabolical. And so far, everything has been going really well for him in the Hurt business. And what I like to see is when Mystico decided to put hands on MJF, the rest of the Hurt Syndicate jumped in immediately and gave the beat down. They started to hurt people. And so it's like they really have taken MJF in as one of their own. And so far, MJF has not screwed it up so far, just yet. And I love the idea of him bringing back the American Patriot. I mean, we really enjoyed this when he had this feud going with Will Ospreay, and this was happening. And MJF, he's just always a treat. Like that is one thing I definitely enjoy about MJF. Him on the mic, although the crowd they've been on him as of late. They've been on. They haven't been letting the man speak. MVP has been hopping in and getting on the crowd about
Yeah.
greatness, be greatness. But I like to say it's just because it's MJF and everybody knows he's better than them. So MJF is that dude. Like I said, I'm excited because if he can bring this American Championship home, you get the Hurt Syndicate just all dressed in gold. And I mean that's just a beautiful picture to behold. And then I again also seeing how far this story goes before MJF starts doing MJF things, and how that's going to annoy Bobby Lashley, who was hesitant to even allow him in the group from the beginning, but he did. And so it's good, man. Like I said, I enjoyed this segment. I enjoy seeing MJF doing MJF stuff, and this is one of those stories that is gripping because of who's involved, the story behind MJF being involved with the Hurt Syndicate, and me just like, please, MJF, don't mess this up. You got a good thing going. Don't turn your back or screw another group. Just ride and be a good faction. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because it's funny, man. Because MJF got that history with these factions, man. He got a nice little run, and he'll do it every time. And we done seen what he did with the Inner Circle. We seen what he did with the Pinnacle. Okay, we seen what he did with Adam Cole.
Baby.
Come on, man. And honestly, still one of my favorites was the one that he did with the Inner Circle. I mean, that whole. First of all, you're doing a song with Chris Jericho. Come on. I mean, the man, Chris Jericho's the gold by himself. But I mean, when you're sitting there making gold with Chris Jericho, doing a whole, it was like a Broadway kind of sing along. I mean, there was greatness. There was greatness coming from him. But yeah, man, I love what he's doing with this man. I genuinely really enjoyed that Patriot, that whole character he was doing. Oh man, I loved it. Damn,
That's
he's
great
popping
work.
up on Wrestle Talk.
Russell
Gave
Talk.
the
Yeah.
interview, man. That was great. He said,
It's
"I'm the
being
best ever.
diabolical.
I'm just American. This is just everything about it." I said, "Man, this is good." Man, that is one guy that is completely invested on what he does. And and honestly, even the match that they had, the trios, man, they had a 6-man match. It was the Hurt Syndicate, and then they had MVP on commentary. Just just really just hyping these guys up. I said, man, come on, man. This is nothing new. And what I thought what was crazy, I mean, them demasking. Okay,
Mystico.
Mystico was insane. I'm like, man, it's diabolical.
It
Diabolical.
is.
Insane.
Yeah, and real quick before you move on, I have to put MJF up there, man. And as far as character work, like he is up there when it comes to people, and we've said this before, that just truly believe, like you just truly believe that they are that person, like that, like there's no separation of like the reality of who the real MJF is and then who MJF is as a wrestler. And it's somebody else that gives me that feeling the more and more I watch them, and we're going to talk about them later. But Toni Storm, she's another one that just plays a character so well that you can't tell a difference. And if there is a difference between her and the real person. And I really do give a lot of credit to people that are that invested and that good at their craft, to where you can't tell that separation. Like I said, it's like the Ric Flair thing we've talked about before, and he's kind of said it where he lost who his real self was to this character of Ric Flair, because this was what he knew and this is what he lived and this is how he lived. But MJF is one of them. Toni Storm is one of them that comes to mind. Chris Jericho, oh my gosh, he has reinvented himself so many different times, but
Come
every
on,
time
man.
his characters are believable.
Come on.
And you could just, it took Roman Reigns a minute. I know we talk about AEW, took Roman, but when he became the tribal chief, that's another one that was just the way he carried himself. You really believe, like it, So it's like some wrestlers have been able to kind of do that, and it's been great. Undertaker, I can't leave him off the list. I mean, I'd be doing a disservice to a bunch of wrestlers that have been able to kind of achieve that. I shouldn't say a bunch, but get the handful. I think about that have just been so great in their character that it's hard to like, man, what is the real person here? Because like when you talk about him being on Wrestle Talk, like even when they were just trying to ask him questions that a normal wrestler that or person could just answer, he was in character. It's just him. It's who he is. And so that's the shout out to MJF, and I think that's why I like MJF so much. So yeah, good work.
Oh yeah, man, great work. I mean, of course, y'all know why I love MJF. He from Long Island like me, baby. Greatness comes out of that place. I always say it all the time, baby. Look, come on now. What you talking about? No. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the next segment that they had. And I mean, this was, you want to talk about aura. You want to talk about storyline. You want to talk about how good is this getting? Omega and Okada. This really is getting, I mean, better every time we're talking about this. Look, this was something I actually, low-key, didn't expect a little bit of a turn. At first, Okada and Kenny Omega come out. Tony Schiavone actually previews a new title, the Unified title, for the Intercontinental and, well, should I say the Continental Champion and the International Champion. And now it's been previewed and shown that we are getting a unified title. At this point, Kenny Omega said when he looked at that video package, he said he almost couldn't recognize himself. That says a lot coming from Kenny Omega. Said he couldn't recognize himself almost. Then he says, at the end of the day, for this one last time, let's leave it all in the ring and see who the best man really is. Signs a contract, they shake hands, get a little bit close. You know how that goes. Yeah. And who comes out? Don freaking Callis, man. And the funny thing about Don Callis, man, that this guy. The crowd immediately saying F Don Callis. We know how that goes. And Don Callis comes out, says to Kenny Omega, you know what the match really should be? It should be Takeshita. It should be Kyle Fletcher. I mean, this man loves to catch it. I mean, it's so crazy. It should be Takeshita. Why is it not Kyle Fletcher? It should be Takeshita. Says this multiple times, by the way. Okay. Kenny Omega says, look, this match is Kenny Omega and Okada. It's all in. If they want a shot, they can get in the back of the line. And nobody is screwing this match up. Don Callis says, if you think I don't have anything else on my sleeve, I guess you didn't see this coming. Okada attacks Kenny Omega. Now, he gets this whole, the little police stick thing. You know how that goes. Yeah. Now, they start beating the hell out of Kenny Omega. Y'all know how that is with that stomach thing, man. That thing's serious. Man was coughing up blood. Coughing up blood. Doing all the set and the third. Now, my man Okada literally, gives this man an elbow off the freaking apron a stretcher. Man, I mean, the sight that they had on that. I mean, my man Kenny Omega was legitimately coughing up blood. I like how they did that. Great set. Great thing. Now, at this point, Don Callis grabs up Okada, says, "We need to get the hell out of here. They're going to kill us. They're going to catch us. We need to get out of here." Takes Okada. They get in the car. They get in the van. My man, I forgot, man. My man really tried to stop and actually interview Don Callis. Get the hell out of my way. We need to go. We have no time for this. I was like, oh, man, Don Callis is crazy. Okay. They get in that van, get in the car, they drive off, and this is the finish right here. I hope y'all like my Don Callis impression, man. I've been kind of working on that. I've been telling my man Drew. He weak every time I do that. But honestly, man, look, this match is going to be a match for the ages. I love what they did. That video package, they showed all 3 to 4 of their matches that they have had. The classics at Wrestle Kingdom 2017. Like how they told the story. I mean, this was just greatness, man. I am genuinely excited to see this, man. Honestly, this got me here to see All In. One of the main things I wanted to see out of All In, of course, Toni and Mercedes. I wanted to see Adam Page and Jon Moxley. But honestly, Okada versus Omega, oh, they're gonna be cooking. This match is gonna feed families. No cap. Okay. You want to talk about something that's gonna be great. You want to talk about something that's gonna be nonstop. You want to talk about something that's probably gonna be in the top 5 matches of 2025. That's gonna be this match. I promise you. And I promise you, there's never been a time when you see neither one of these men ever underperform, especially Kenny Omega. They call this man the god of wrestling for a reason. Stop playing with Kenny Omega. My man was out for all this time. I had to, stomach issue and all that.
Diverticulitis.
Yeah, come on. You know it. That ain't enough to stop my man Kenny Omega. You can't stop a god of wrestling when you got Kenny Omega. And you got Okada. Come on. The Rainmaker. These got history. We want to talk about somebody that's had greatness in New Japan. Come on. Stop playing with these two men right here. Stop playing like this isn't about to be a match of the ages, a match of generations. This is going to be one of those. Dave Meltzer, I don't give a damn what you rate this. This is going to be a 10-star match. This is going to be a 5-star match. If that's how you're doing it, I don't know. But this is going to be, something that's going to be incredible. And I love the story that they're telling on this. You want to talk about, AEW not doing enough storytelling? Well, look what they're doing here. Heartbreak Prince. What's your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, I'm in agreement, man. They're cooking with this. This segment here was really good. The elbow off the daggone ring apron onto to Kenny Omega was just diabolical, and then him coughing up the blood, and I mean the whole segment with Don Callis running out of the building. They jumped in that SUV and that thing hightailed out of there, boy. They took it serious. They took it serious, but. Yeah, this is shaping up to be one hell of a pay-per-view coming up for AEW. When we talked about this a few weeks ago, I told you, and it still is. I don't think it's going to change. The match I'm looking forward to the most, the match that's must see for me, and the reason why I'm willing to pay for the pay-per-view and watch it is the match between Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné. Now you start to throw in this stuff with Okada and Kenny Omega, who can deliver in matches, who have outstanding careers in New Japan. This is going to be fire, and I know it's not on here. We talked about it for just a little bit, but I even like what they did this week with Adam Hangman Page and the Death Riders. Like that's another one that's just been getting better and better and better each week. And so they are cooking right now in AEW, especially with the different storylines and how every week they're doing little things to continue to grow each story and just make this pay-per-view a must-see. it's giving you that fear of missing out, and I don't want to miss out, especially not on something like this. And you're talking about a unification of titles here, and who's going to be the person that walks out of this. Of course, I'm rooting for Kenny Omega. That's my man right there,
Yeah,
100 grand.
man.
That's my boy in the ring. I love Kenny Omega, and so yeah, I hope it goes that route. But now you got Don Callis in the picture, and so you don't you just never know how much he's gonna tilt the scales in this type of matchup. But that's what makes you want to see it. That's what makes you want to be a part of it. That's what gets you excited for this. So yeah, phenomenal. Just great segments in each thing from the Hurt Business, Hangman Adam Page and Death Riders to Kenny Omega and Okada, and then the Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné. They got moneymaker after moneymaker lined up for this pay-per-view right here.
Yeah, man. And you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about what happened with Adam Page. But honestly, the way they started the show off with
Yeah.
this man just walking in, and then what I like how John Moxley was just kind of sitting in the corner with the hat, just sitting there in the corner. I said, "Oh man, you." I said, "I like this. This is good." Turns around, all of a sudden, the rest of the Death Rider just followed up and just was following Adam Page. And then the fact, I mean, come on. Then I think what's so interesting is the whole thing with Adam Page and the Young Bucks and Will Ospreay and Swerve. Like
And
they are
Swerve.
really putting it all together. Like Young Bucks, okay, EVP, y'all are diabolical. What y'all did to my man Will Ospreay. Now, okay, you asked me who's the greatest tag team of all time. Come on, man. Stop playing
Young
like the
Bucks.
Bucks ain't been that. You can't act like the Bucks ain't been that. You can't honestly. I'm gonna agree for a second. You can't tell me a bad Young Bucks match. I'll wait.
Yeah. Young Bucks don't do anything but bangers.
I'm still waiting. You can't find one. Those guys, man, they have never. I've said this plenty of times before when it comes to the Young Bucks. Those guys, when they put on a match, it's always a great match.
Yeah.
I have never seen these men mess up, botch, slip up ever. Even when I watch these men live at the first Dynamite episode and Full Gear, when it went up against the Lucha Bros, okay, Private Party, that was a match for the ages. But again, that's the Bucks. Y'all better stop playing. Honestly, you can't name me a better tag team than them right now in this day and age. I'll wait. The only ones I'll probably say the Profits, boy.
And the profits
I ain't
are
gonna
up.
say that. Come on now.
The
They've been
profits
up.
are up.
Come on now. That might be a
Hey.
little biased to some of y'all, but you don't know how we feel about the Profits. We've been vouching for the Profits since last year. But if you want to talk about who's the best on AEW, Young Bucks. And then I probably put maybe Private Party right up under there. One of
Yeah,
my
I,
favorite
I'm
tags.
just gonna hop in for a quick second because I have to agree with you on this. Now I know Bucks have a history, so my introduction to the Bucks was when they came to AEW. When I was able to watch them then, and I just any match they put on has always been a banger. And if you asked me who the best tag team is in professional wrestling, going today, I love the Profits. I love the Profits, but the Bucks, their body of work is phenomenal. Their match work is phenomenal. Their in-ring work, they are just a phenomenal tag team. And I have to give it to them. So just wanted to hop in there and say that.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you know what I always say? I always say there's not a better type of tag team than when you have legitimate brothers that are tag teams. Okay, and I ain't talking about the Dudley Boys. We know they ain't no real brothers. Okay, I'm talking about the Hardys. I'm talking about the Bucks. I'm talking about the Usos. Hell, I'm even talking about the Wild Samoans. These are like certain tag teams really make a difference when it's a real brotherly connection. The Hardys. We know how they roll. We know how this goes. When it's something about when it's a brother tag of legit Harlem Heat. Come on. Primo and Ethico. Or I mean, Paulino and Ethico. Brothers. Something about that sibling connection really makes a difference. This is why when I say when you have a legitimate tag team like that, you don't break that up. You don't break something up like the Young Bucks. Bucks been doing this since Ring of Honor. Bucks been doing stuff. Man, look, for y'all that don't know, how I seen the Bucks, first time when I seen the Bucks was when they picked Adam Cole out the Bullet Club. They said the little bye-bye, super kick, bye, you're done. I said, damn, who them? Looked them up. Oh, probably the greatest tag teams of all time. Y'all can say what you want. I really would not care. You can't change my opinion when it comes to the Bucks. You can't name a bad match. Even when they're singles, even when they're singly just in the ring. Some of the best work you're seeing. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm sick of y'all trying to say, because you got high flyers or people like Will Ospreay. You try to call them Power Rangers. What the hell is this Power Ranger term y'all keep saying?
Hey, you gonna
Oh,
hold your
because
tongue on Will Ospreay? That's the dog right
come
there.
on now, come on
That's
now.
the dog right there. You
Yeah,
can say
I'm
what you
sick of
want.
this. Come on now, I'm sick of people trying to say, "Oh, Will Ospreay is a Power Ranger." Oh, really? Well, if he's a Power Ranger, you might as well call him Tommy because that's the best one you got. R.I.P. to my man JDF. Met him 2 times. Met him twice actually. The real Tommy Oliver. Okay. Y'all killing me with this whole Power Ranger thing. This is ridiculous. Y'all want to call it, oh, he's a Power Ranger, is he? So you might as well call every single high flyer a Power Ranger. That means you might as well call Sol Ruka a Power Ranger. You might as well call Rey Mysterio a Power Ranger. Get this with y'all. For real. And then that kills me. It's the tribalist. This whole tribalist thing. Oh, I love WWE. Oh, I love it. We gotta stop this BS. This has got to stop. This is ridiculous. I have never met a group of fans that just want to see a company die. I don't get this. There was a thing
We can't go
I've seen
back.
people. You can't. I don't see how people say, and there were people saying I was in a panel. I've been getting in these TikTok panels for a while now, right? So people were saying, 2019 was probably one of the worst years for WWE. I said, oh, really? I said, well, the best thing that was going on for WWE at the time in 2019, y'all know what it was, NXT. But what else came about in 2019? When y'all want to say this was the worst, that was the worst year. What else came about? What happened around towards the end of 2019? We seen a reemergence of multiple companies actually coming back and wanting to give us a golden age of wrestling again. We're seeing companies reemerge like TNA Impact. Yeah, y'all can say, oh, it's not like TNA died, but they came back and reinvented themselves. And look what they're doing now. Yeah, a company like NWA that was killing it on YouTube. COVID kind of killed that, but they were on the rise. You've seen people like some people that y'all know now, or Ricky Saints, LA Knight, that was on these companies before they got to WWE. Y'all are legitimately pissing me off with this. I am legitimately sick to my stomach, to my core, that y'all really want to see a company not be around anymore. If anything, you should want to see these companies work together. You should want to see Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay go up against Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns. You should want to see that. You would want to see Roman. You would want to see Seth's, his group and just invade the Death Riders. You imagine something like that? No, but y'all want this company to die, though. Y'all don't want to see another company thrive, too. Sickening. Again, y'all make me sick to my stomach with this. This has got to stop. This is toxic. What I can't stand is how y'all keep comparing this company to WWE. Like this company has been around for the same amount of years. I get tired of y'all always trying to say, well, WWE doesn't. Oh, well, they know how to develop stars. What does AEW do? Well, look at Miro. Look at Rusev. Look at Aleister Black. You got two people that came back. How many people have you seen from WWE leave and go to AEW and thrive? Oh, you want some names? I'll give them to you. Swerve Strickland. Look what he's done. Keith Lee, when he came there, look what he did. Oh, yeah, of course. We know he's sick right now, man. Keith, bask in the glory, man. We need you to get better, man. We need to see you back.
Hey,
Okay?
we need you back, Keith. I miss you. Miss you, big
We do.
dog.
We do. Look at Ricochet.
John
Look
Moxley.
at Timeless Toni Storm. Last time you seen her on WWE, what happened? Charlotte put a pie in her face.
The fish that got away there, boy. I would be sick to my stomach if I was Triple H right now. The fact that I lost Toni Storm, the best female wrestler in the game today,
Come on.
to AEW. That's sick. That's got to be sickening. And then you have somebody like Mercedes Moné who leaves
Come on.
the WWE and is walking around with 50 titles around her neck right now, having one of the best runs, in her career. Like, these are things that, it's sickening, but, I'm going to let you finish cooking. Because I know the frustration you have when it comes to this, and it's a frustration because it's like two things can't be true at the same time, or two things can't be good at the same time. And it's like, it doesn't have to be an either or. Like, us as fans, if you love wrestling, you got the WWE style that you can take things from, that you can enjoy, and then you got this AEW thing over here that may do some things well that you enjoy, and you can like two things, and two things can be good at the same time, and two things can be true at the same time. It's not an all or nothing deal. Like, there's enough room out here, there's enough space out here for more than one company to be successful. And it's sad because at the end of the day, as fans, we I would think would just enjoy the fact that we can be entertained by something like this in this day and age, with all the things going on in the world, that you can turn on a television for a couple of hours and just kind of be taken away from the realities of the everyday world, smacking you in the face, and just enjoy some good entertainment for a couple of hours. And now we get it. We got wrestling almost every night if you want.
Every night.
So, but Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné, Triple H, if they were, that hurts, because Toni Storm, she was going bonkers in NXT when she was there. And then, like I said, I don't know what happened, how she fell from grace there to end with a pat on her face and then booted out. But she is phenomenal. She's phenomenal.
She is. I just don't get it. How y'all can sit here and just be like, well, if it's not WWE, it's nothing. Are you kidding me? Let me just tell y'all something, okay? We get on here, we're not just people that just watch WWE. Yes, we break down, we review, we talk about WWE all the time. Why? We know what we're talking about when we talk about this. To be honest, as many times as we was getting together before we started this podcast, we had a list of complaints that was going on. During events time, yeah, of course. Well, I just, it's almost comical how some of y'all sit here and say, well, I just watch WWE. You can't say I'm not a wrestling fan if I just watch WWE. Well, I don't know what else to call it. There's nothing wrong with just watching WWE, but there's a problem when y'all sit there watching WWE, and then you're sitting there trying to sit here and trash other companies because it's not WWE. You know what the problem is that I have with WWE right now? And I've said this plenty of times. The problem is they're so big and so important on trying to go viral. What are you trying to go viral for? You're the biggest wrestling company in the world. WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. There are other countries that literally will stay up in the middle of the night to watch y'all. Why are we so big on trying to be viral on social media for a week? This is what I be talking about. There's a lot of stuff Y'all want to just, I'll turn a blind eye. Y'all are just as bad as the LeBron Blazers. Sickening. Y'all want to say all this, and you know what be going on with WWE, but then y'all Triple H do. Y'all don't want to say nothing, or y'all say little things and then defend Triple H. Now, don't get me wrong. I got a lot of respect for Triple H. I have come on this show and said plenty of times that man has cooked. I've said plenty of times. I love the era that he had during NXT. Because he cooked. He made stars, and those stars shined. Sucked that a lot of them, some of them ain't where they should be now. But if things were different, maybe. But y'all can't be doing this. Y'all can't be sitting here and acting like the stuff that happens in WWE is okay all the time. There's a lot of wrestlers that we see don't get their time, don't get their moments. Moments that are missed that they don't capitalize on. You want to know another one? Look at Katie Catanzaro. She just went on an interview on Chris Van Vliet. The time she was saying, I've been trying to pitch stuff. I'm trying to get creative. But they said, oh, that's not really what we want to do. That's not really. Pisses me off with some of y'all. Y'all sit up here and say, oh, well, I guess they couldn't really get a pop. They couldn't really get over. Oh, well, they couldn't really make the most out of their moment. How the hell are you going to say that? When there's a lot of wrestlers that made the most out of their moment and it was still missed by the person that was holding the pen. Y'all want to sit here and say all that? Oh, come on. Like I've said this before. Look at Dakota Kai. Coming on Tegan Knox. Had a banger of a heel turn. Y'all missed that moment by not giving her the NXT champion. She could have been a star. She could have had a lot. People want to say, oh, well, WWE, they don't have superstars. No, they have superstars. The problem is the people with the pen and giving them the moments or letting them make the moments happen organically. You want to know somebody that's getting over organically and they're actually doing it right? The man with the magic boot, the big blood, the Simone werewolf. That is somebody that's getting over organically. Here's the reason why. The man stood here like this every time you've seen him for weeks. Yeah, we come up on here. I call him the man with the magic boot. Why? Because for 3 weeks, he had the boot on, and he was beating ass like he didn't have a boot on.
Diabolical. Gave Roman Reigns the business with that boot.
Come on. Crazy.
Excuse me. And it wasn't just the basic Roman Reigns. It was the tribal chief Roman Reigns.
When the Ula Fala was gone. When he was still trying to find the Ula Fala. That man got over by himself. Did everything he was supposed to do. And the crowd reacted. Every time. Solo, I love you. And then when the leash came off, you knew what it was. And what happened? It worked perfectly. What's up, my man? What's going on with you? Great to see y'all coming up in here and commenting. Yeah, I'm ranting a little bit. This is what happens on nighttime. Honestly, yes, I might have some ranting moments. I don't do this on a weekly episodes like that. But this one, I got to get this off my chest.
Well, and real quick, E, because, Joan here, which appreciate you watching. Thank you for being with us on nighttime. He put in Mr. Iguana, and I know this is supposed to be AEW, but this is the Exclusive Nights podcast regardless, so we can talk all things wrestling. We try to make this a home for everybody.
That's right. That's right.
So, but I want to say something real quick about this Mr. Iguana thing, because I think it goes to your point that you just made a few minutes ago about how WWE tries to make everything viral, every single thing. So Mr. Iguana comes to us from AAA Wrestling that they just had a pay-per-view for, or whatever you want to call it, a PLE or whatever. A free PLE. I don't even know what to call it. It was on YouTube, and we all as fans got introduced to Mr. Iguana in AAA in wrestling. Now this week or today they dropped something on their WWE YouTube channel, some promo for Mr. Iguana. with like 400 some thousand views and all this stuff. And the fans are going crazy for Mr. Iguana. And they want him called up. Apparently, he's going to be called up to the main roster and all this kind of stuff. And that's WWE capitalizing on something that they feel is viral and it was going to make them go viral. And so part of that is again the problem of what we talk about, what you just talked about with sometimes WWE does things and they're already the biggest wrestling promotion out there, and they don't have to worry about doing this, but they do it for stuff like this. Like, this is the reason why we're getting Mr. Iguana, who's skipping NXT and going straight to the main roster. Meanwhile, people like Ron Killings got released and now brought back because of the fans. Braun Strowman's gone. You got call-ups from NXT that just got passed over because they're trying to capitalize on this hype right now for Mr. Iguana. Now, what are we going to do? Do we really want to see Mr. Iguana as a champion in WWE? Do we want to see him skip El Grande Americano, skip the line and go straight? Because right now he's the hot thing, and this is the stuff that you have to deal with and you're competing against when you're talking about the stuff that WWE does. Now, again, nobody is perfect. I don't expect the wrestling promotion to be perfect. We can accept WWE for the things that they get right and the things that they get wrong. We can accept AEW for the things they get right and the things they get wrong. Like I said, it doesn't have to be an either or. We can enjoy this. I would love with everything in me to see a pay-per-view where we get, like you talked about, a Seth Rollins versus a Kenny Omega or a Will Ospreay. Could you imagine those two great just ones in the ring together, going at you like, where you could just, it's wrestling and you can watch this, so you're not sitting here thinking, man, what would it be like if Seth Rollins faced, Kenny Omega? Or what would it be like if Roman Reigns faced a John Moxley right now? Or what, like, you don't have to think about that. Like I saw something earlier today where I can't remember if it was Wrestle Talk. I'm sorry, it's not coming to me right now. Might have been WrestleMania where they did a story on what's my boy that went viral over the WrestleMania because it was in his hometown and they didn't even give him a chance. Oh my God, Karrion Kross said the person he would like to fight is John Moxley, and it made me think that would be dope. But in order for that to happen, John Moxley would have to leave AEW and go back to WWE. But it's just the way things are. But we got a couple of people that jumped in and said some things. He said AEW is easily the better product. WWE feels superficial. And Joan, to kind of talk to that, for a while, especially there was a time, that 2019, 2020 time frame where WWE was kind of slipping. And that's why I'm glad we have an AEW product right now, is because I feel like that competition does bring out the best in other companies and things of that nature. And they try more because now they're competing. When WWE was just by itself and they really weren't competing with anybody because they would just buy the promotion out. They just gave you anything, and they took, and that's kind of what was annoying with Triple H when it was like, when he's criticized, he kind of gives you the just shut up and be a fan type of treatment. And it's like, well, as a fan and as a person that you're asking to be invested in your company and to buy your products, I want more. I want more from the talent that we have here within your promotion. And it shouldn't be a problem for me to ask for more, because you said it yourself. You work for me, for the buyer, for the person that you're going to charge that $10,000 seat to for WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like, so, don't tell me, because I'm like, hey, this WrestleMania ticket is not showing a $10,000 ticket price value.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me now and tell me to shut up and just be a fan, because it's like, no, as a fan, and as a person that's invested and that's giving money to you and AEW to buy your merch and all that kind of stuff, I want more. I want better, because I know that it can be better. And so, it's one of those things where, like I said, AEW for a time was definitely, I felt like, kicking butt and giving the better product. And I think that kind of lit a fire under WWE, and all of a sudden they got better. Like, they started doing better storylines. They started have, the tribal chief thing really just
started.
Picked WWE and just shot him up there. So AEW, it's a necessary thing. Fletch, how you doing? Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
See, a WWE
W2.
to corporate, too synthetic.
Listen, Dick.
So it is, and that's what happens when it from all that from that time period of it being the only promotion. It just
Yeah.
became it's all about the dollar. I think they were saying recently about WWE, how they try to brand everything now. If you look at the ring, there's
Oh
brands
my
all over the
God.
ring, there's all
Every
over the post,
freaking
everything. It's just
seasons or
all
whatever. I don't know. They
it's
put everything on there.
it's all money making now. It's kind of like, uh it's one of those things where now it's not necessarily about you as the fan anymore. It's about what type of things, how much can they get from sponsors, how much money can they get from you and their merch shops and things of that nature. And they're kind of going down this path where they're forgetting the fans. And that's at least that's the way it seems and maybe feels. Because I know what happened with some of the releases, and then with them bringing back R-Truth, I still don't. You get mixed things because you get Triple H and his way of saying it, like it's all part of the show,
It's all
man.
part of the show. Come on. Come on. Like you
Really,
and see, that's the
really,
thing. How you gonna say that's part of the show when our true son said that was fact?
yeah. Fletch, you're 100% correct. 100. I mean, that's a buck there. W will keep doing it because the fans will
Fan
keep,
base.
keep paying the ticket prices. They
And
keep
that's
saying
and
every
that's the
WrestleMania,
tribalist though. That's the
most sold.
tribalist though.
That's and it just I don't mind a person liking AEW more or WWE more. It just doesn't
Yeah.
have to be like because you like AEW, you suck, you're not a real wrestling fan or whatever. It doesn't just have to be that. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be
Like
toxic. It could just be, hey, look, I prefer AEW. Okay, cool. Well, what's your favorite thing about AEW? And maybe let me open my mind and check it out. Seth
Seth
Rollins
Rollins
versus
versus
Hangman.
Hangman.
Oh my God, that
Yeah,
would
that would
be
cook. That would cook.
that would cook. I would love it.
I'll tell you
I'd
what,
love to see. Hey, we are diabolical. Yeah, it does give you the chills, right?
hey, they them right chill,
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it could be a lot of good things that would come out of something like that if they ever could just work together and just do like a forbidden door type of thing or whatever it is. I don't know what it would be called, but just bringing two promotions like that together for a night.
Yeah, just for a night, hell, and just see how it go. Honestly, and that's the thing. Like, if AEW and WWE just did one pay-per-view together, the
Yeah.
amount of money they could
Money
make
they would generate
be insane.
it would be insane.
That would legitimately feed families.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's right there, but y'all wanna be against each other. That's what's crazy to me. I just want to see all the companies working together and just be one whole family. So maybe it's just me. I don't know.
We're seeing it, and we're seeing that start to happen now with WWE and working with TNA. I know that they bought AAA, and now they're kind of working with AAA, and it is a partnership. At least that's how Triple H phrased it in the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, because he says that they're not looking to change anything in the Lucha Libre AAA wrestling. They're looking to partner with them, and that's how we get stuff like Mr. Iguana. And that's probably why what's my boy that was on the announce table with
Conan.
Conan was keeping track of like, hey, how many times were y'all winning? How many times are we winning? Because we know how WWE can be.
Yeah.
But it is working to see stuff like that, because
John, you cooking with this.
He's cooking.
He's in his bag. Go ahead,
this
boy.
is the stuff that it can work. Like, we're seeing that, and we're seeing WWE do that under this Triple H reign, where they're kind of reaching out to, like I said, a TNA, AAA, and they're like, could you imagine a paper ever seeing like Chad Gable versus Vikingo? Like, could you have imagined that 2 or 3 months ago? No, we would have never seen it. But then when they put them together, look at how great I still don't even know what to call it. That PLE, that free PLE, whatever it was, I don't know what they want to call it, but it was phenomenal. It was very entertaining. And like I said, out of all of this, we got Mr. Iguana because they kind of opened the door to new wrestlers.
But fraction of a raw to no cap, Joan.
Yeah,
no cap. Because you know what's funny? I even looked up the tickets for Evolution. You know what was crazy? Nosebleeds, at least $300.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah. WWE's ticket prices have gotten out of control.
It's in
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
Like
It's out of control.
it's
But
legitimately.
but
But
again, fans are still paying for it. They still are selling out. Like Triple H gets on after every show and says, "Oh, the best gate ever. We set a record for highest selling gate at Money in the Bank." The fans here just shows that they want the product, and he does it all the time. So
part of the show.
yeah,
So
it's just
I
part of the
said,
show. So yeah,
I said, all right, Trip, let's go ahead and cap some more. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like I said, love Triple H, but that man can lie his ass off if he really wants to.
he's diabolical with being able to
Yeah.
lie. He said, Triple H can
Okay.
lie.
He can lie. Look, we know he can lie from that Vince McMahon documentary telling
Oh
telling
yeah,
Owen Hart's wife, well, I swear to God, I didn't know.
yep. I didn't know,
You the
and he
main
knew
one that said
the
something. Man,
man.
get out of here.
Yeah, yeah. He Triple H is diabolical.
Diabolical, man. I need him to cut a see, that's the funny thing with Triple. I need him to cut a real like like a boss, like kind of he needs to cut a promo where he's just like, yo, I really don't care anymore. I am
Yeah,
just the I need you to do that, Triple H.
yeah.
Stop playing this fence stuff. Just be you truly.
Mm-hmm.
Show it off. Hell,
Yeah,
maybe show might pop off a little bit more.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
But since we was talking about Mercedes and Tony, we got to talk about this because this was great. Okay, look at Thomas Tony Storm. Look at how far this woman has came. Okay, Tony Storm comes out, mind you, Mercedes Monet already kind of sitting there. This girl done got a whole nother dinner, by the way. Okay, this woman's got a whole nother dinner. Okay, she out here. First of all, okay, I don't know how hot the steak was. I don't know how hot the mashed
I
potatoes was. Because Tony Storm came and tried to get a little dip of the mashed potatoes. I said, man, girl, you crazy, girl. You crazy. But then what happens? Who comes out? Freaking oh my gosh. And I thought, for me personally, I said, man, this is good. Okay, Julia Hart and Blue, what's my girl's name? Oh my gosh.
and I'm drawing a blank myself.
Oh my God. It's why the hell Blue something Blue. And she just came back not too long ago, but they attacked Tony Storm. I mean, beating the hell out of Tony Storm, by the way.
Sky
And to
Blue.
the point where Sky Blue, there we go. My goodness. Yeah, so Julia Hart and Sky Blue are starting to beat the hell out of Tony Storm. Now, Ref Audrey, she ain't having that. Tell Sky Blue, get out. You're not in the match. The classic. Good stuff. Gets around. Thomas, Tony Storm. I mean, look at Mercedes. Honestly, Mercedes is an interesting one for this. This is good. I mean, the fact that she's out here just watching this, drinking wine, still eating. Okay. Like it means absolutely nothing to her. Okay. But Thomas Tony Storm beats Julia Hart. At this point, Mercedes ain't really feeling that. Mercedes walks into the ring. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this was a little, I
A
don't
little
know,
risque.
a little
How would I
risque,
say?
a little,
A
a
little
little
risque.
interesting.
I don't. It was
Oh,
interesting.
man, Tony gonna grab Mercedes. She looked a little shocked. Mercedes looks at her. Tony gets up. And I ain't gonna lie, it was just some weird stuff that was going on. To the point where Mercedes kind of picked up Tony's head and did like this little head. I don't know.
They were rubbing cheeks or something.
Yeah, it was like it reminded me of the Lion King. Like when Simba used to come back from like Prod Rock, and all the lines was rubbing necks. That's exactly what I thought about this. Anyway, y'all ladies cook. So then Mercedes started to beat the hell out of Tony Storm. Right now, at this point, comes out to try to save Tony Storm. Not gonna mean that. Right? Now that means absolutely nothing because then Mercedes Monet comes back, beats the hell out of her too. She got the 2-for-1. Honestly, I'm liking what the CEO is doing. Now, at that point, what happens? Mercedes is legitimately holding that title. Oh boy. And this is the finish right here. Man, I'll tell you right now, something like that. No, some people don't want to see that. I get it. Y'all don't want to see Mercedes Monet with that title. I get that. Okay. To be honest, Mercedes, so that you have already got 5 titles on you. I'm pretty sure it's 5. Funny thing was, I was on the phone with our music guy, some music man, Drew. I was on the phone with him a couple of days ago.
Shout out to Drew.
That's, shout out to you, man, always giving us, hey, boy. I said, you know what's crazy about Mercedes Monet? I said, people got a problem with Mercedes Monet being this whole belt collector thing. So I'm pretty sure she dropped the title. Next thing we know, 20 minutes later, there was another title. You drop one to get another. She's just doing trade-offs at this point. I'm getting it. I get this whole belt collector thing. I just don't think she's going to be beating Toni Storm. Granted, she did tell Toni Storm, kiss this title goodbye. And I was a little concerned. Now, again, even if she does lose, if Toni Storm does lose, that climb to get that title back, oh, we know that's going to be fire anyway. But again, I don't think she's going to be taking that title off of Mercedes Monet. I do think she got to drop a couple. If anything, hell, drop the TBS title first. You've had that since last year. So you can let somebody like Willow get it or Chris Statlander or. A lot of women on that roster I can really. Hell, you can get back Julia Hart, honestly. I'll be okay with that. But yeah, man, I mean, honestly, I love the work that they're doing with this, man. They're telling the story. And again, this is proving, again, what y'all keep saying, oh, AEW don't got no storylines. They ain't got none. Well, there you go. You got a couple. You got a few. And again, we talked about the whole thing with Adam Page and John Moxley. That's another storyline that's cooking up. Only that Sean right here with the chef's hat, but that's not the case for this. They are really cooking. Y'all said all this stuff about them. Well, guess what? They're proving y'all wrong. And I'm loving what they're doing with this. I love every single thing that they are setting up. I love what they're doing with the whole thing with Will Ospreay and with my man Swerve. And with the EVPs. And how that's tying in with Adam Page and John Moxley. Storytelling. I'm loving what they're doing with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. We see what's going on with that. Come on.
We hurt people.
Storytelling. Then we see what's going on with Toni and Mercedes. See what they've been doing? And look, this ain't no 2-week buildup that we've been seeing for the last couple of months. What they doing? Storytelling. Y'all said that was the problem for AEW. Well, guess what? They're showing you they can do that. Yeah, they were putting on 5-star matches, classics like Tony Khan would always say. But they're giving you a little bit more substance because apparently that was the thing that y'all kept saying was a problem. Whatever. Look, man, Heartbreak Prince, what's your thoughts, man? What you think?
By far my favorite segment. I mean, I'm not saying Hangman Page Death Rider segment wasn't good. I'm not saying Okada and Kenny Omega wasn't good. I just love Toni Storm. And, when her music drops, the way she comes out, man, she got attacked at the beginning. And I can't think of a man right now. Her butler.
Luther,
yeah. Thank you. He's out there with the little handkerchief just fanning her. And she's just laying out. And he's like trying to get her. It's diabolical. It's just preposterous. It's a lot of things rolled into one, and it's just enjoyable. But what I really like about this, though, is because since Mercedes Moné has entered AEW, I've been wondering, when is she going to go for the gold? When is she going to go for the big boy? And when she does, will Toni Storm be it? And she is, and we're getting this match. And I love Mercedes Moné. You know how I feel about Mercedes Moné and her, as before she, became Mercedes Moné and she was just Sasha Banks. That was my girl. And
the blueprint.
I'm torn. And that's why I'm so invested in this, is because I'm actually torn as a person, as a wrestling fan of like, what do I want to see in this match? Who do I want to see in this match win the championship? But I love Toni Storm so much and her character so much that it's like I don't want to see her lose the title. And it's also maybe because Mercedes Moné has 50 of them right now. And I love the promo that Tony Storm said like the week before, like we talked about in our last week's show, where she told Mercedes, look, you have all of those titles, to make you whole. I only
I
need
only
one.
need one.
And she and it's just Tony Storm, people. Tony Storm. A chef's kiss. Like
Chef's kiss.
every bit of her work is chef's kiss. And she cooks. I mean, it's just I don't know. This is going to be a heartbreaker for me. There's probably going to be a Heartbreak Hotel episode on this because I feel like I'm going to be in room 311 no matter how I slice this pie because one of them has to lose. They can't both win. And it's terrible. It's terrible that I'm in this position where I have to choose. And Tony, right now, I choose you, honey. If my camera wasn't stationary, you'd see me laying in the carpet, rubbing the ground, moving doing the whole Tony Storm thing. I mean, she just gives me chills every time. She's amazing. She is amazing. She just does amazing work. And I love it. I love to see her perform. And again, it's because to me, when I look at her performing, I truly believe she's the character she's portraying. Like there's no separation there for me. Like if I'm looking at another wrestler playing a character, I'm like, oh, this guy, he's playing a character. This is who he is. This is who this character is. To me, that is Toni Storm. Like everything about her. Like there's no separation there.
Total package.
Yeah, she's phenomenal, man. She is phenomenal. I love it. I love how she goes over and eats Mercedes Moné's food every week because Mercedes be having the spread. I mean, my girl be having steak, potato,
catering is crazy.
Salad, wine. Like she's got. I mean, it's crazy. Belts all just draped all across the table. I'm like, she is the undisputed era by herself.
No, for real.
Draped in gold. Draped in gold.
Yeah, that's steak. I be looking at the pink. I'm like, okay, man, she like hers medium. I see that.
Medium. I said, yeah, hey, she's killing it. Oh, Joe, no.
Oh man,
no. And I had this feeling. It probably is going to be Mercedes in the sense that they're probably going to complete the whole thing of this lady has every title. I don't know what you say to something like that. It has never been done. To my knowledge, where a single wrestler is holding that many titles. Like that is insane.
It's but I think she might be like the first woman we've seen.
The first female wrestler.
I think one of them. I think Kurt Angle did something like that one time. He had a few belts.
Nice.
I know Austin Aries was another one.
Okay.
Big belt collector. And then at one point, Switchblade, Jay White.
Yes,
had a few
I forget about.
too,
Yes, Switchblade did have. Yes, I do know about Switchblade having his titles. But yeah, this is going to be crazy. It's going to be diabolical. If she wins the championship as well, along with having the TBS championship, I don't know, but I can see it going that way because of the path that she's been on. But I don't know. It's just like, okay, so where do we go from here? Once she gets the title, like I feel like the chase is better. Like if she loses this first match, but they continue this story a little bit longer, to the next time. Yeah, but
she got it. You know what I think it might cook? Like if she loses this, right? And then it's like it causes Mercedes to go on like a spiral. So then she just starts losing all the rest of them.
All the rest of her titles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she has to kind of find herself again.
Yeah. And then maybe then is when she'll actually win the AEW title. And then she drops all the rest of them and then she wins that one.
It. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I had too much focus on the other titles. Now it's just to focus on one.
Yeah.
Bring it back, full circle moment.
I've lost everything to get this one. Yeah.
This one. Yeah. See, that could be a story. So, hey, if y'all listening.
This is good. But this is good. This is like I said, every week I look forward to where this story and how this story is progressing. And it's fun. It's just fun. And I'm glad to see AEW cooking in this way. As far as, they are a young company. They're still in their infancy. Like they've been around for 6 years now.
6 years, yeah.
So like, they haven't had the time of a WWE, which is understandable, but they are learning. They're starting to find their way. They're starting to get better with their storytelling and all of that type of stuff and their match development. So, the production value is getting better when it comes to what they're giving us as fans each week, on shows and in the ring. And that's a great thing. And it's something like this, like I said, that it's just exciting to see. When you think about a Toni Storm versus a Mercedes Moné, when you think about what is going to happen with the Death Riders and Adam Hangman Page, is he going to put an end to this run of John Moxley, of him just being just diabolical? The briefcase, the title in the brief, how is this going to end? The Can Swerve and all of them get it together. Like it's a lot going on, but I'm enjoying it. And so they're starting to find themselves and find their way, and it's great. What I would like to see is for WWE, not trying to make it all about this again, but like I know WWE tends to like to put other pay-per-views on or their PLEs on the same week or day at times or whatever as AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Don't I don't want to have to miss one for the other. Like, I would love to watch, AEW's pay-per-view and then watch a WWE pay-per-view the following week. It's okay.
That's fine.
It's fine.
And it's one of those things. This probably
There's
the last thing I'm
room.
gonna talk
There's
about.
room, people.
Yeah, there is. Because it's like we talk about like a week like this week, right? Ain't nothing going on this weekend, not that I know of. But it was crazy. Y'all want to give us a pay-per-view the same week. See, and this is my last thing I'm gonna say. WWE want to talk about we don't compete with AEW. But we knew All In had been confirmed for July 12th since what? Since maybe January or maybe last year of December. So that date's been set for months. All of a sudden, last month, we got a 3-day pay-per-view weekend. Don't get me wrong. I'm probably going to enjoy Evolution. I'm trying to see All In, though. Y'all made me choose between, what was it, Backlash or Battleground and Double or Nothing. Y'all know how hard that was for me? I don't like missing Double or Nothing. I've been watching Double or Nothing since it first happened. When my man MJF came out, John Moxley debuted. It's a lot of monumental moments that happen on Double or Nothing. I don't like to miss those. I don't like to miss a Dynasty. I don't like to miss a Revolution. I damn sure don't like to miss a Full Gear. Because I've been to the first one. Certain pay-per-views I don't want to miss. And All In is one of them. I'm not missing that. All In is like legitimately their WrestleMania. They're going to go all out. No pun intended. But I love what these guys are going to do. Y'all talk about they don't compete, but then what AEW's doing weeks like this, like they did this week and last week, where they're doing Dynamite and Collision on one night because they don't want to compete. Not we don't want it. No. Hey, I'm tired of it at this point. Y'all say one thing about me, and then all of a sudden y'all keep trying to compete. Which one is it? Make up your mind. It's crazy. But again, AEW, y'all are doing your thing. WB, y'all are doing your thing too. Everybody's got their flaws, but let's not, let's not, again, turn a blind eye like we don't see what's going on.
I see what you did there, John Cena.
Come on now. But, as always, please make sure, please, I don't know how many times I gotta tell y'all. Please. No, I'm playing. Make sure you follow social medias. Facebook, we on that. Instagram, we on that. X, we on that. TikTok, we on that as well. Hey, I appreciate the love and the support you guys have been showing us this last couple of weeks. Y'all been subscribing, and they're my TikTok people. Y'all been showing me love.
Thank you, everybody.
We love everything y'all been doing, showing the support. We got so much more in store for y'all. Y'all have no idea.
Idea.
Y'all have
Thank you,
no
Joan and Flex,
idea.
for being with us tonight too. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Y'all
Hey, we
coming through on
appreciate y'all
nighttime.
coming through and yeah, man, and talking it up and chatting it up with us. We appreciate everything y'all are doing for us, man. Like, we couldn't be more thankful. And we're gonna keep climbing this up and we're gonna keep giving y'all content the exclusive way. That's right, boy. Come on. Y'all know it. But as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And I had the one man and the only man that's going to check you in to the Heartbreak Hotel. And that's the Heartbreak Prince himself.
I'm gonna be there
'Cause
in a few weeks. Tony
look,
Storm and Mercedes Moné gonna put me in it.
oh, man. Look, because we are the exclusive nights and we always ensure that we are the best there is, the best there
Best there
was,
was,
and the
and the
best it ever
best there
will
will
be.
be.
And to make sure that your nights will never be the same.
Be the same.
Y'all be good.
Hey, thank you, Joan. We try. We
Thank
try.
you, John.
We appreciate
Thank
the
you, man.
follow. Thank you all. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, have a
Till
good
next
one,
time.
man.